Real Madrid will be in action this weekend against Getafe. FC Barcelona will be in action against Girona. Villarreal will be in action against Real Betis, and Atletico de Madrid will be in action against Osasuna. In this video, I am going to give you guys my predictions for La Liga Matchday 9. In this same video, I am going to show you guys how the La Liga table is already looking like ahead of Matchday 9. So if this is the first time you are coming across my YouTube channel, I would appreciate if you can stay calm and watch the video carefully till the end so you can clearly understand what we are going to witness on La Liga Matchday 9. I will give you guys my analysis for all the games that are going to be taking place on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. In this same video, I'm going to give you guys my honest predictions for all of those fixtures in this same video. So I will appreciate if you can watch keenly with me till the end. Now, let us jump into the details. We are going to start with how the La Liga table is already looking like ahead of Matchday 9. When you take a look at the La Liga table, Real Madrid is seated at the top of the table with 21 points, 2 points ahead of FC Barcelona with 19 points. Villarreal is occupying the third spot with 16 points. Real Betis occupying the fourth spot with 15 points. Atletico de Madrid fifth spot, 13 points. Sevilla sixth spot, 13 points. Elche seventh spot, 13 points. Atletico Bilbao seventh spot with 13 points as well. Atletico Bilbao is 8th spot. It's a mistake. Espanyol occupying the 9th spot with 12 points. Alaves occupying the 10th spot with 11 points. Getafe occupying the 12th spot with 11 points. Osasuna 10 points. Levante 8 points. Real Vallecano 8 points. Valencia 8 points. Now, that is exactly how the La Liga table is looking like ahead of Matchday 9. Remember on Matchday 8, Barcelona suffered a defeat to Sevilla 4-1. Real Madrid won their game, so that's the main reason why Real Madrid is seated ahead of FC Barcelona with 2 points. And when you take a look at this weekend fixtures, right, you notice that the games are going to be very, very interesting. Tomorrow, Friday, we are going to have the first game of La Liga Matchday 9, which is going to be against Real Oviedo versus Espanyol. Like I said, guys, I'm going to give you guys my honest analysis for the first games. That is for all the games before I give you guys the predictions. So the predictions will come at the end of the video. Now, on Friday, which is tomorrow, Real Oviedo versus Espanyol. First game of La Liga Matchday 9. I think this game is going to be very, very interesting because these two teams are all seated at the bottom of the La Liga table. If I'm being honest with you, it's only Espanyol. Espanyol is occupying the 9th spot and Real Oviedo is right down. So there is a possibility that this game is going to be very, very difficult for both teams. Remember, Real Oviedo is playing this game at home and they know they're already heading to a relegation. Though it is still Matchday 9, right? It is important for them to know how the season is going to look like at the end of the season. And then when you take a look at Saturday, Sevilla versus Mallorca is going to be the first game. Now, let's take a look back at the La Liga table. Sevilla won Barcelona before the international break, 4-1. And when you take a look at the La Liga table, Sevilla sits on the 6th spot of the La Liga table with 13 points. That is just to tell you how difficult this game is going to look like. So it is going to be a tough game for both Sevilla at home against Mallorca, who is playing away from home. So Barcelona is going to be the second game of the day. And I think this Barcelona game is going to be very, very interesting. There are many Barcelona players that are going to miss this game. For now, Gavi is out of the game. Joan Gassi is out of the game. Ter Stegen is out of the game. Robert Lewandowski is out of the game. Rafinha is out of the game. All of these top guys, Dani Olmo also, 6 players are out of this game, right? So Lamine Yamal might make his return against Girona on Saturday, which is going to be very, very important for Barcelona because this game is actually in preparation for the Olympiacos game, UEFA Champions League Match 3. This game is also in preparation for the El Clasico game that is going to be played on the 26th of October. So this game is going to be very, very important. And Barcelona needs to win this game. They're already 2 points behind Real Madrid. And if they can grab a win at home against Girona, and if they can grab a win in this game, right, they'll be 1 point ahead of Real Madrid before Real Madrid play their game on Sunday against Getafe. The third game on Saturday is going to be that of Villarreal versus Real Betis. Villarreal is occupying the 3rd spot of the La Liga table with 16 points. The Real Betis is occupying the 4th spot with 15 points. So the point difference between Villarreal and Real Betis is just 1 point. That is to tell you guys how intense this game is going to be. The intensity in this game is going to be very, very high. And I think this is going to be one of the most interesting La Liga games on Matchday 9 because the point difference between the two is just 1. And Villarreal will try to see if they can grab all the 4 points and go 3 points and go 4 points ahead of Real Betis, or Real Betis will fight for the 3 points so they can go 2 points ahead of Villarreal on La Liga Matchday 9. When you take a look at the final game that is going to be played on Saturday, it's going to be that of Atletico de Madrid versus Osasuna. If I'm being honest with you, Atletico de Madrid is not actually good so far this season when they play against smaller teams, because when you take a look at the bigger teams that Atletico de Madrid have played so far, you discover that they actually enjoy the game. The first big game that Atletico de Madrid played this season was against Villarreal, and they won Villarreal, and that was Villarreal's first defeat of the season. Another big game was against Real Madrid, and they defeated Real Madrid 5-2. Another big game was against Liverpool, and they suffered Liverpool in that game, though at the end of the day, Liverpool still won the game. And the fourth big game of the season was against Frankfurt, and they won the game. But when you take a look at when they come across Espanyol, Elche, Alaves, they don't do well. They don't grab all the 3 points in that game. And that is for a reason why when you take a look at the La Liga table, Atletico de Madrid is seated at the 5th spot of the La Liga table with just 13 points. That is just to tell you how difficult the season have been to them. So with 13 points out of 24 possible points this season, because they have played 8 games already. And then Osasuna, if I'm being honest with you, Osasuna is not actually having one of the best seasons, because they're occupying the 12th spot of the La Liga table with 10 points out of 24 possible points, meaning they have given out 14 points already this season. They have played against Barcelona, where they suffered the defeat. They played against Real Madrid, where they suffered the defeat. And on Saturday, they are going to be playing against Atletico de Madrid. And with the recent form of Atletico de Madrid against smaller teams, this game is going to be very, very important for Osasuna. And Osasuna players also know, they are aware that Atletico de Madrid is going to use this game in preparation for the UEFA Champions League game that is coming up next week. And they will have to give all their best. I mean, Osasuna can give all their best, because Atletico de Madrid will be trying to rest some players for the UEFA Champions League game. So Osasuna can take advantage of everything. There is Elche against Atletico Bilbao, which is going to be the first game that is going to be played on Sunday. Atletico Bilbao not actually having their best season, because when you take a look at the La Liga table, Atletico Bilbao is occupying the 8th spot with 13 points. Elche, 7th spot with same 30 points. So Atletico Bilbao versus Elche, both are having the same number of points, 30 points after match day 8. And this game is going to be very, very important for Atletico Bilbao. They have suffered 2 defeats already in the UEFA Champions League, and they have to grab a win at least in this game, because their kickoff season is not that good. But Nico Williams is back, and the guy is going to be a starter in this game against Elche. Celta Vigo versus Real Sociedad, Levante versus Rayo Vallecano, Getafe versus Real Madrid. Now, this game is going to be very, very crucial. Real Madrid is going to play this game in preparation for the UEFA Champions League game against Juventus on Wednesday. They're going to play this game in preparation for the El Clasico game on the 26th of October. So it is very important. And if Real Madrid play this game on Sunday with Barcelona, because Barcelona will play on Saturday, if Barcelona wins their game on Saturday against Girona and go 1 point ahead of Real Madrid already know there is already pressure on them. They have to grab those points. They have to defeat Getafe. Though Getafe is going to be a difficult team. The reason why I'm saying this simply because when you take a look at this Getafe team, they are very good when it comes to block football. They can defend from the first minute of the game to the last minute. But when you take a look at this Real Madrid team, Kylian Mbappe is the man of the difference. In every situation, he can find a solution for Real Madrid. Vinicius Junior is trying to get back to his form. Rodrigo is returning. Adagola, one of the best players in the world right now. Franco Mastantuono. So I don't think Getafe will stand a chance to stop Real Madrid in this game. The final game, which is going to be played on Monday, is going to be that of Alaves versus Valencia. And now, what are my predictions for all of these 10 games that are going to be taking place on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, and Monday? My predictions for these games are going to go as follows. Let me start with the first game of match day 9, which is going to be played tomorrow, Friday. Real Oviedo versus Espanyol. When you take a look at the La Liga table, Espanyol is seated top ahead of Real Oviedo. Real Oviedo is already at the relegation zone. So if I think I'm to predict this game, the game is going to be a tough one. Yes, the game is going to be a tough one. Real Oviedo playing at home with the home advantage. All the fans are behind them. But at the end of the day, I think Espanyol is going to grab at least a point in this game. I can still remember the first La Liga game of the season. Espanyol played against Atletico de Madrid, defeated Atletico de Madrid 2-1 on La Liga Matchday 1. And from that day, I was convinced that this Espanyol team can play when they want to play. They can do better when they want to do better. So I think it is going to be a tough one. And also considering the fact that this Real Oviedo team can play very well, especially when they come against teams that want to play high line, like open up, they can play very well. Take a look at the game between Real Oviedo and FC Barcelona, right? The game was very open. So I think this game is going to be somehow balanced, but at the end of the day, I think Espanyol is going to grab at least a point in this game, which is actually the only game that is going to be taking place on Friday. Sevilla versus Mallorca. When you take a look at the La Liga table, Sevilla is ahead of Mallorca. They are actually in form as compared to Mallorca. They defeated Barcelona 4-1, which is actually the game that is supposed to give them the confidence for this season. I think that Sevilla game against Barcelona changed their whole season. Yes, we are still on March the 9th, but that game against Barcelona on March the 8th changed their whole season, changed their mentality. If defeating Barcelona 4-1 is already a clear sign that you can fight for everything. So I think Sevilla coming to this game is coming with a lot of confidence, and they know they have to fight from the first minute to the last minute. I want to take a look at the way Mallorca plays against bigger teams also, like I saw against Barcelona, against Real Madrid. They do very well, but I think in this game, Sevilla is going to grab at least a point in this game, either a win or a draw. So I'm giving double chance to Sevilla. Barcelona versus Girona. If I'm being honest with you, I'm not just going to predict this game in terms of their names, but Girona have not been having a good season so far. When you take a look at the season of Girona, they are not even among the top 15 in the MLS. In the La Liga table. That is just to tell you how difficult their season is already looking like. So if I'm to predict the game, I think Barcelona is going to give Girona a straight win in this game. I don't think Barcelona can afford to drop points again in this game. And if there is a player to watch in this game, that player should definitely be Lamine Yamal, because he's set to return on this day, on Saturday against Girona. Rafinha, like I said earlier, the video is going to miss the game. Robert Lewandowski is also going to miss the game. So I think maybe Hansi Flick will start the game with Rashford, Ferran Torres, and Ronny Badji. Maybe Ferran Torres can also rest, but I think this game is going to be very crucial. Hansi Flick needs to start the game with the best players possible that can produce him all the 3 points at the end of the day. Villarreal versus Real Betis. These two guys are seated at around the same spot on the table, and the point difference between Villarreal and Real Betis is just 1 point. So it is going to be a tough one. Villarreal playing at home with the home advantage. I think they are going to grab at least a point in this game. So I'll give Villarreal a win or a draw against Real Betis on Saturday. Atletico de Madrid versus Osasuna. I'll give Atletico de Madrid a win or a draw in this game. Atletico de Madrid cannot afford to drop points again. They were the club that signed the most players in La Liga this season, and I think they have to start giving statistics. I even felt like maybe that game against Real Madrid was actually going to give them a lot of motivations, but it was not the case, because immediately after the Real Madrid game, they played the Champions League game against Frankfurt, won the game, returned back to La Liga. They tried and still ended up sharing points. So I think this game against Osasuna is a game where Atletico Madrid must win the game. So if I'm to give something in this game, I'll give Atletico Madrid a straight win against Osasuna. Elche versus Atletico Bilbao. Now, this Elche team is a team that can cause a lot of trouble. That is why when you take a look at the La Liga table, that's seated around the 7th spot of the table with 13 points. Then there is Atletico Bilbao also with 13 points. So these two teams are around the same spot with 30 points. At the end of the day, I think it is going to be a tough game. And if I'm to predict the game, I'll give Elche to score at least a goal and Atletico Bilbao to score at least a goal. That is both teams to score. And then on Sunday, also Celta Vigo versus Real Sociedad. Guys, if I'm being honest with you, this game is going to be tough. Celta Vigo is going to be tough against Real Sociedad, because these two guys are still struggling in La Liga. When you take a look at the top 15, you are not going to see any of these teams that are still struggling. So I think it is going to be a tough one for both teams. But at the end of the day, I think there is a double chance in this game, meaning one team is going to win. Levante versus Rayo Vallecano. With the way these two teams are playing, all of them are playing block football. All of Levante and Rayo Vallecano are playing block football. And when you take a look at the La Liga table, Levante sits 13 and Rayo Vallecano sits 14. Both of them are having 8 points, meaning they won just 2 games out of 8 La Liga games and shared points in 2 games. So it is going to be a tough one. Out of the 8 games, these two clubs suffered 4-4 defeats this season. So it is going to be a tough one. But at the end of the day, I think a team is going to win this game. So I'm double chancing the game. Getafe versus Real Madrid, the final game that is going to be played on Sunday. If I'm being honest with you, Real Madrid is going to win this game. It is going to be a difficult one. Real Madrid is going to use this game preparing for the Juventus game, resting some players. But I think Getafe can cause a lot of trouble in this game, because these guys playing a block game, maybe 4-4-2, 4-4-2 or 4-4-1-1. It's going to be a tough one. So let us just wait and see how the game is going to look like. At times, Getafe goes with a formation of 5-4-1. So it is going to be difficult. They are going to try to stop Real Madrid. By the end of the day, Real Madrid is going to win the game. That's my predictions. Real Madrid is going to win the game against Getafe. Now, the final game of La Liga Matchday 9, which is going to be played on Monday, Alaves versus Valencia. If I'm being honest with you, this game is going to be tough. When you take a look at La Liga table, Alaves sits 10 on the La Liga table with 11 points. Then Valencia sits 15 with 8 points. The point difference between these two clubs is 2 points, meaning Valencia have suffered how many defeats this season? 4 defeats already. And against Alaves, it is not going to be that easy. So if I'm to predict the game, I'll give both teams to score. Alaves to score and Valencia to score. Guys, those are my predictions for La Liga Matchday 9 fixtures. So if you have watched the video right up to this level, I would appreciate if you can also give me your honest predictions for some of the fixtures that are going to be taking place this weekend in the Spanish La Liga. You must not predict all the games, just predict the games you can predict. Maybe you're a Real Madrid fan, you predict the Real Madrid game. A Barcelona fan can predict the Barcelona game. Atletico Madrid fan, Villarreal fan can predict those games. So I'm waiting for your honest predictions down in the comment section, and also let me know what you think about my predictions for La Liga Matchday 9. Thank you guys, and see you until my next video. Thank you.